Any day now. Here we go. All right. So we'll start anyway. All right, here we go. Let's try this a second time. Here we go.
You're listening to the Level Best Network.
This is the INTERCOT Insider Live, episode 170. Now in Dolby Atmos. The INTERCOT Insider Live is brought to you by Magical Journeys, INTERCOT's official travel agency, and the Disney Vacation Experts. They've been with us for most of our 27 years online. Stop on by, book a trip, say hello to Nancy and crew, whether you're going, I guess, to Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, Universal, pretty much anywhere. Nancy and crew will help you out planning your next vacation. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. And we are live. It is just about the end of, let's see, July 28th. Just past 8 o'clock on the East Coast. With me tonight, I have Carolyn, one of our regulars from the nation of Canada.
Hello.
Hello. And hello. Good to have you along. And Morgan from dreamfindingparks.com. Hello, Morgan.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, good. Good to have you along.
Good.
First time on the podcast for you. This is a good thing.
First time caller, long time listener.
I was thinking the same exact thing. I was like, should I go there? Like, will people, does that make it sound too old when we say that?
I don't know.
Call in anymore?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, do people still get that? I mean, I don't know. All the old talk
shows. First time caller, long time listener.
I mean, I think our audience gets it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sure.
So,
they're smart.
Yes. It's been about a month again. Lately we've been kind of on this month-long cadence thing going on. But a lot of stuff has been going on behind the scenes here at intercot.com. Among that is we actually launched a brand new website.
Quietly.
Clandestinely. Yeah,
we popped it out there.
Yeah, we did. It's just there it was.
Under the radar debut.
Yeah. Well, it was purposeful, kind of. And people may not have visited the site yet and still may not know that there is a brand new site there. So I just wanted to kind of off the top of the podcast, kind of give everybody an idea of what was going on. And then we can get into the Disney news of the day. But here's the scoop. So quietly behind the scenes for at least a year, we've had the current site that you see now today in place. And it was a matter of kind of working through a lot of technical issues, having the time to do things, porting stuff over, deciding what to keep, what not to keep. And finally, Carolyn was like the glue, certainly in the last few months, that sort of brought everything together because it was kind of at a standstill, and she was able to port over a lot of our content and help make some of those decisions. We talked a few times like, do we want to keep this? Do we not want to keep this? Do we want to do this?
Well, there's like 27 years worth of stuff, and some of it hadn't been updated and needed to be, because things change so often with Disney. So
correct.
You probably had some Dixie Landing things still somewhere,
probably buried in there.
In the website there, there might be some references to things like that. I mean, what had happened, essentially over the years, we had an HTML-based site, not to get too far into the techie stuff, but it made it difficult for anybody but me and a handful of other people to update, which given the fact that unlike some of the other sites out there where that's all that they do, or they're owned by
their whole job.
Yeah, or they're owned by mega networks, like that own like 3 websites or something like that, Disney sites, or they own other things. And that's what they do full time. It's their gig. This is like a part-time thing it's a part-time, full-time thing, if that makes sense. And has been for like everybody else that was involved with the site. I mean, over the course of time, at one point, I mean, we had a pretty vibrant discussion board community online with about 30,000 or so members. And we had probably almost 20 or more moderators like that did different things in different forums and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of geared down over the years, and technology sort of passed us by a little bit. And again, it was just a matter of having the time to do all these things. We've always kept things current on social media and such. And, you know, we've thrown new videos up and stuff on YouTube, but the website kind of slowly was falling behind. And we realized, like I said, more than a year ago, but definitely from a year ago when I started to just get things in place, that we needed to do something about this. Not only that, our web server was old enough to drive a car almost. It was like 16 or 17 years old. So we still were running our own machine, like an actual server box that was sitting.
The cloud was not around yet.
This is our own, what would they call it now? You like your personal cloud. It's sitting on a shelf in a cold room in Frederick, Maryland. And a few weeks back, I went up there and literally did the and powered it down, which was a good thing too, by the way, because one of the hard drives was failing. I mean,
I saw your post on that. Did you play taps? Was there, a solemn ceremony?
Did you bury it in your backyard?
Yeah.
It's in my work office in Washington, D.C. right now, but so it's still there. I didn't dispose of it or anything, but the bottom line is that, it felt a little weird, felt a little sad, but at the same moment, I knew we were moving forward, which is a good thing. So it launched.
Forward, we all know that quote.
What's that?
Keep moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's what we were thinking, basically we're moving forward. So we flipped the switch over. And honestly, it was nothing but problems for almost the whole time since I've turned the switch on. So realize that, and this is the part that, again, maybe is interesting to some, maybe not so interesting to others, but when you have a website that's online 27 years and you're linked to, and you're out there for 27 years, there are a lot of bad people out in the world who try to do really mean stuff to your website. Whether it be through denial of service attacks or whether it be just, trying to exploit your site or whatever, just for nefarious reasons, trying to get into your server, trying to get into your site, trying to exploit the software you're running on your site. So, I mean, we turned things on and the server load went
and didn't you say, John, that some of it is now with all this AI stuff that computers want to go and read everything on your site so that they learn how to speak English
for about the first 30 days the site's been online, the AI scrapers, as they call them, or AI scrapers and bots have been absolutely ridiculous, the amount of traffic. So just to give everybody an idea, the site right now, supposedly, according to Cloudflare, which is a provider where traffic flows through to get to my site, it does between 6,000 and 8,000 views a day. Okay. Which is not bad. I mean, for a site that's been online 27 years, I mean, in our heyday, we were doing about 2 million visitors a month, which that was a different time, a different place, but still, 6,000 to 8,000, but we're doing 400,000 impressions, which is completely out of whack, which means that bots, scrapers, things like that are coming in and hitting your site nonstop. So anyway, bottom line is we've been trying a lot of stuff to get that under control, and we've been working very hard behind the scenes. Right now, if you try to hit intercot.com, you're going to be asked if you're human before you even get to the site. And it'll come up and it'll either pass you through quickly or it'll actually make you click on something to get to it. The reason why we're doing that is because we're still trying to work behind the scenes on a few different things. Eventually, I hope to be with another host that can handle all this stuff and takes all the guessing games, and John being the IT guy. I don't want to be the IT guy anymore.
Yeah.
I just want to be the content guy now.
You want to pass that torch.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm finished.
But you know what? What the site is now is all up to date. And we've been updating all the news stories. It's all there. We have, old videos from John's old VHS camera days. So you can see old extinct attractions. So
and by the way, speaking of extinct attractions, so I got somebody who asked me about, we had a special segment of the site where I used to host a guy, and it was called the Epcot Discovery Center. And at some point that became part of INTERCOT, and he kind of just disappeared. And we've kind of kept it up as a historical thing. When we moved the site over, it wasn't there. And I had somebody ask me about it, and I was like, yeah, I kind of meant to do that, but I wasn't going to get around to doing it for a while. Well,
there's a lot of info.
There's a lot of it, like a lot of ancient attraction info that people like crave.
Yeah, people still want that. I've deep dived on YouTube on days that I'm bored watching old, Disney commercials and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm sure just that aspect of your website, people just could spend days there just reminiscing.
Yeah, like it has like scripts from the original. It's basically all the old Epcot attractions, and has scripts from that, pictures from that, background on why they're there and how they got developed, all that kind of stuff. Loads of great information. And Jeff, who used to be the webmaster of that site, who, like I said, just kind of disappeared. Would love, Jeff, if you hear this, would love if you'd check in. We could like do some cool stuff, and not that we'd update it, but we could, sort of do some neat things and bring you in, maybe have you on the podcast and stuff like that. But bottom line is that is now all back. I was able to do a little wizardry before I shut down the server, and I moved that all over. And so that's good. So the last piece of the puzzle, and we'll move on to Disney news here because we spent too much time on this already, is that I'm in the process of working with a company to port all the V-Bulletin threads,
the discussion
board threads from basically the last 10 years. I went back and I pruned everything that was older than 10 years. I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
We had almost 15 or 20 years worth of posts on there. So I went back at least 10 years. So we've got 10 years worth of data. Yep. So back to 2014. And all that is being ported over to what will be the new INTERCOT discussion boards. We've also streamlined all the forums. We've, cut down on the number of things. We've combined some things. So, this should be a pretty good experience. The thing is, like now, when you'll go and you'll comment on a story, if
like
it's
a news story,
like a news story in the site, it actually will cross post to the discussion boards, which will then feed into the discussion over there. And then people who are then commenting on the boards, that'll cross feed back to the news posts. So I hope it, adds to some vibrant community aspects as the site used to be. Yeah. And that we don't get killed by spam. So we'll see how that works out.
Sounds fancy now.
I know.
We're all fancy.
Yeah, we're all fancy. Oh, and then the last part, the absolute last thing that go online will be the shop where we'll get the gear.
The swag.
Yeah, back online again. I don't know whether we're going to do the WooCommerce or whatever. Anyway, like I said, that's getting way too far in the weeds. So, thank you, Greg. Look at Greg. Site looks great. Love the new mobile site. Yeah, see?
Oh, thanks, Greg.
Could rewrite those articles. Google loves that. That's true. On the Epcot Discovery Center. That's true. We could redo that. They love that stuff. So
put it
anyway,
on the list.
Yeah, well, yeah. They're on the list.
Sounds like the list is already kind of long.
Yeah, I know. This is what happens. I mean, it's ridiculous, but we got it done, and the nice thing, the old server's down, pared it down to about 4 or 5 sites. We're good, and we're moving forward, focusing on what's important. So this is a good thing. All right, so I bring this up, and I'm not trying to be the hype machine because I know people hate hype, but I've been watching Mike's weather page over the last few days, and there is a possible hurricane marked at about 40% chance of development that is headed towards the United States right now.
Right across Florida towards like Alabama.
There's a couple different tracks we're looking at, and again, it's pretty far out. So again, don't want to lean into the hype. Just throwing this out here, and the reason why we're throwing this out here partly is because Carolyn's going there next weekend, and of course,
I'm gonna be there Thursday to Monday, so I'm gonna wear my Crocs and bring an umbrella and just enjoy it.
You know what?
I got rained out on my last day there. So I hope, for your sake, that the hurricane goes a completely different direction, because getting rained out, like,
whatever. I just go with it. Yeah. Whatever. If I have my Crocs on and I don't have wet socks, then I can deal with it.
That's true. Well, I sometimes travel with my mother, and my mom has an electric wheelchair, an ACV.
Okay.
So that, of course, is not something we want in the rain.
Right.
So we did I just came home this past Monday, so I'm just getting over my Disney blues. We did Hoop-de-Doo, which was my first time doing Hoop-de-Doo.
Oh, I did it like the first year we went there in 1974, and still love it.
I can't believe it took me so long. It was me, my mom, and one of my best friends, Danielle, who I met when I actually did the Disney College program in 2010, and we're still friends. So it was the 3 of us. We got the ECV on the car right when the skies open up. We get back to our room. Me and my mom are staying at Riverside for the weekend. And we were just like, you know what? We can't, let's bring it back into the resort. We are not seeing fireworks just because the ECVs are not waterproof.
No.
So I hope you don't get the rain.
No, I mean, I think right now, so there are a couple different tracks, and again, they're just guessing. And so, by the time people listen to this will probably be like, oh, nothing happened. It was a nothing burger. It fizzled out, whatever. There was one
depression, something.
One that had it going into the Gulf. Then one that had it going kind of up the coast, which may affect me. And then there's another one that doesn't even have it hitting the coast, and it's sort of peeling off. But, I only bring that up just because, everybody sort of needs to. It's that time of the year, at least. If you live on the coast and you live in Florida, you're Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, all that stuff, Outer Banks, all the way up through Maryland and Virginia.
The season.
Yeah, you got to be ready because you never know when something's going to hit. So, I mean, it's actually, there hasn't been a ton of activity this year to start with, but you know how that goes.
You just jinxed it.
I know.
Wait.
Carolyn, pack all of your rain gear now.
I need a full, rain hat. I'll look like Long John Silver.
You still have it like a Disney poncho from a previous rainstorm. Throw that in your bag.
Yeah, wait, hold on. This just in, I take it all back. I'm sorry. I don't.
Better.
I didn't mean that. No, I mean, when we live on a salt marsh here, so I always worry about these things. So anyway, just wanted to mention going into that. So big changes apparently happened a few days ago, right? With the lightning lane.
I was gonna say, so that's something that we can do now, starting as of July 24th. They've switched up the whole Genie Plus, Fast Pass Plus, Lightning Lane, individual, all of that, ignore. Just forget everything that you know about booking Fast Passes, Lightning Lanes, Genie Plus, whatever you want to call it. Just forget it.
Okay.
As of July 24th.
Right.
There's two versions of Lightning Lanes now. There's Lightning Lane individual.
Okay.
And there's or single pass, they call it, or Lightning Lane multi-pass. So I'm going to quickly explain what the difference is.
Like the multiverse?
No.
Okay.
As many interactions we've had of Lightning Lane, it might be the multiverse.
Yeah, really.
Jeez. Okay.
They just can't stay with they just can't stay with one thing. They keep changing it, so everybody has to relearn.
So Carolyn, how do I use this new system?
Well, John, let me tell you. Okay. If you are a guest of a Disney Resort hotel,
yes,
you can purchase and select Lightning Lane passes up to 7 days in advance for the entire length of your stay. Okay, so
okay.
Yeah. So 7 days from your first day of your trip. Okay.
Okay.
If you're not staying at a Disney hotel, you can do it up to 3 days before. Okay. So just remember those two things. If you're a hotel guest, 7 days. If you're just a local or you're staying off site, 3 days. Then when you go to do this, you can either decide, am I going to want lots of Lightning Lanes throughout the day? They'll let you book up to 3.
Okay.
But kind of like how they did it before, there's like the good rides and the not so great rides. So you can choose one good ride, say, from the Magic Kingdom, which is like Thunder Mountain, Jungle Cruise, Space Mountain, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then 2 from the other crappy list, which is like, the magic carpets of Aladdin, if you really want to make that your second choice.
Is that seriously a Lightning Lane?
Yeah. And like the Speedway, say. So those are your 3. If you're just thinking, well, no, I don't need a multi-day thing. I definitely want to get on Tron. Then you can do like a single and just buy the one for the day. Does that make sense? So you can either get the multi-pass, which gets you 3, and then once your 3 are used up, then you can start booking more for the day if there's anything left. Or just individual, just a single.
Just a single.
So they have lists of like what attractions are what. Like the single pass attractions are at Magic Kingdom are Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Tron. Those ones you just buy singular. Everything else is in that mix of the multi-pass, that kind of thing. So that's Magic Kingdom. And it's the same for the other parks. They'll have like the single pass attraction, like Rise of the Resistance, or the everything else in the multi-pass. So you decide which you want to do. Now, I can tell you roughly what the pricing is if you're interested.
I thought it was pretty expensive, actually. At least I thought.
Well, okay, so of course it's different by park.
Right.
Every park has a different price. So the multi-pass. So if you want, I know, if you want to get the multi-pass, so I want to get lots and lots of Lightning Lanes in one day.
Okay.
The Magic Kingdom is $29 per guest.
Okay.
Epcot's $21. Hollywood Studios is $26.
For something that used to be free, just pointing that out. But okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Kingdom is $18 per guest because they hardly have anything there.
Yeah, I know.
And then
I mean,
the single pass.
That's where it gets rough.
That gets expensive. There's 5 total. There's 5 rides that you can buy a single pass.
Yeah.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Why don't you guess what you would pay for a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train?
$29.
3 payments of $49.95. If you act now, we'll throw in Ginzu times.
Yeah.
Operators are standing by doing nothing.
This wonderful pasta strainer.
Yeah.
No, actually, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is only $12.
12.
Only. I mean, if you have a family of 4.
What's
I mean,
Tron?
Okay, Tron is next. What would you pay for Tron? If Seven Dwarfs is 12,
$25.
I'd say 20 range.
Yeah, it's 20. It's 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy. What would you pay for one ride on that?
$34.
No, you're high.
I'm making stuff up.
$1.
$1. That's right.
We've entered the
winner,
prices right.
Morgan. It's 17. 17 for that one. Wow. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. This is the most expensive one, I will tell you that.
Star Wars is? Really? 19.
No. Well, Tron was 20. Tron was 20.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going 25.
I have ADD. Sorry.
It is 25, Morgan. You're right.
25.
Okay, I'm going on Prices Right. This
yeah,
is
you're gonna win.
He's a winner.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. The last one, one that you can buy a single pass for is Avatar: Flight of Passage. What would you pay for that?
$18. Oh,
18.
Both of us.
Thank you, John.
Mine
I'm sorry, you're both over. It's 16.
Sorry.
Wait, but it's interesting. So that one's 16. So those 5 rides are the only things in all of Walt Disney World you can buy the single pass for. Everything else that has a lightning lane is in that multi-pass that you get 3 and then you get to buy more or use more afterwards, book more afterwards. But which is interesting. So the Tiana's is in there as one of the multi-pass ones. It's not one of the single pass rides.
Oh,
which
really?
is interesting. I would figure that starting out, that's going to be single, because I when they announced this, I was thinking to how Fast Pass used to be. You know, you got the one from column A, and then you got the rest from column B. You get to pick the 3 before you get there.
Yeah.
And it's always the new rides that were in that first column. So I'm surprised Tiana's did not make the cut.
Yeah.
I've heard there hasn't been you've been able to get on it. Like there hasn't been as much demand as they thought.
Well, I will tell you, since we're talking about Tiana's.
Maybe I'm dreaming that.
Well, okay. I was down there June 27th, and I think it opened on the 28th.
I think so.
We every morning 7 a.m. 6:59. Get your phone for the virtual queue. Get ready refresh. Could not get in. We were trying with Justin and Dawn from the podcast. They couldn't get in. Finally, just out of the blue, Justin was able to get in the 7 a.m. queue. I was able to get in the 1 p.m. queue, and we were within 5 groups of each other. Like we were so close. It was really weird.
Really?
Yeah. So the ride, as you've probably heard, goes down a lot. So sometimes they get all the morning people booked at 7 a.m. and at 1 o'clock they aren't even taking new virtual queue guests because they aren't even doing the 1 p.m. because they haven't even got through the morning people. So I know that when we wrote it, I didn't notice any animatronics down. It seemed like everything was working. That was unless there was something that you wouldn't notice if it was missing. Like maybe there was no fireflies over here, but all the animatronics seemed fine when we went on it. Very cute ride, by the way. We enjoyed it.
Okay.
But yeah, it seemed fine, but then probably later that afternoon it was down again. So it seems to be still the same old problem that I think we talked about on our last podcast when it was the the pass holder previews and stuff, that they're having trouble, and I don't understand why, because they do this on other rides, that the animatronic is not just on a loop, just saying things over and over. Think Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. When your boat goes by, they're just gonna say whatever they're saying as you float by, and that's what you get. But Tiana's, it's they wait, and here comes a boat, and then she says, "Oh, hi, everybody," and she's speaking directly to your specific boat. They've been having trouble getting that timing right, Which I think is weird that that's the big problem, because if you think of like a ride, like say Rise of the Resistance, oh, you come around the corner and that probe droid comes floating down, and like obviously there's like a timing thing there too, but it doesn't have any problems.
But, the big guns couldn't get the timing right on them.
Well, yeah, that's true. Those guns.
So, maybe this is a little more complex with the song and the sync and the whole 9 yards and keeping the whole show in sync. It just seems like, again, how far along are we on these things? I mean, I don't even know. Did we talk about me being in Tokyo Disneyland?
Yeah,
we did, right? So the point being, some of the rides there they're pretty technologically advanced. I would assume that the same technology is shared back and forth between, that park and the parks in the States. I mean, why are we having problems with this?
Well, I've said this before on the podcast, Morgan. I don't know if you agree or not, but sometimes I think they just shoot for the moon too much. Like, why do they have to do it that way? Like, why can't they just?
I feel like if they did the under promise and over deliver,
right,
there would be less like, oh, this ride's down. Oh, this ride's down. I mean, like, perfect example. And I mean, like, I didn't get a chance to do Tiana's when I was there. I did hear crowds were very low in Magic Kingdom last weekend. Being that it's July.
Yeah.
I can tell you the humidity was crazy. So I would think maybe people were at the pool instead of in the parks, which I don't blame them. But if you promise the moon and the stars and everything in between, that is what a guest is going to expect. If you under promise and say like, hey, we're going to do this, and this works, it works perfectly every single time, but then you give us a little extra, you're going to have ecstatic guests every single
I don't know.
night.
Like, it would not have hurt that ride if all the animatronics were just on a loop and you get what you get when you float by them. I don't know why they keep trying to make these. I mean, yeah, I get it. They want to keep pushing the envelope and, raising the bar and all that stuff. But there's nothing wrong with, like I've said before, we just need a whole bunch of like good rides. They don't have to be like, this has never been done in the history of humankind for every single bloody ride that they make nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, a good old fashioned dark ride would be nice. But well, that's not interesting. We can't hype that much. The thing is, I wish they would just, quite frankly, delay the opening 30 or 60 days and just do all the testing you need to do. To heck with the previews, to heck with this and that, to heck with worrying about, X, Y, or Z. Just actually test the crap out of these rides, get it right, and then have less breakdowns when you do go live. It just seems like we have this short runway from the time where it went from previews to, okay, we're open.
Yeah. And even being honest about it too, like, hey guys, I know you guys are excited about this ride.
Yeah.
Give us one more month. We got a couple of bugs to work out. Being transparent in that would go.
I know, but that
so
people
far.
would go crazy because, well, I planned my vacation to come in July because you said that it was going to be open.
Privilege.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? Like, I mean, I don't want to alienate anybody, but I always tell people, because I mean, I do help people, plan trips every once. But when they always ask me, I'm like, don't expect everything to be open and working. Just be happy with what is open. Be happy with the memories that are there for you to make with the people you're with.
I mean, you got 4 parks.
Yeah.
I'm just
saying. You got 4 parks, you got 2 water parks, you got Disney Springs.
Yeah.
If you're staying on property, you've got the access to whatever activities are going on at whatever resort, because every resort also has activities going on now. enjoy your vacation. Don't stress out about, I've got to be there for the opening of Tiana. I've got to be there for the opening of this.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect example, like Country Bear Jamboree. There's already a TikTok video of it going on fire. So, I mean,
I saw that.
Which it wasn't even on fire, but that's the rumor that went out there.
No, it was an effect where he's supposed to be playing the fiddle so fast that it starts smoking.
Yeah.
And then I guess the smoke effect went a little bit.
Well, apparently the power went
up
down.
in smoke. Oh, did it?
And it. So I read afterwards
because they actually evacuated people.
Yeah, like it was like pirates went down at the same time. It was like their power grid, like the breaker flipped.
Yeah.
So
somebody just flipped a breaker.
The guy was fiddling really fast and the smoke was coming out and then he just stopped, but the rest of the smoke kept coming out and then they couldn't restart the show. Well, so they're like, Carolyn, okay, everybody leave. But people videoed it and was like, it's on fire.
Yeah.
There's an old joke in electronics and circuit boards and things like that, which is once you let the smoke out, you can't put the smoke back in.
That's right. So, they can't suck that smoke back.
It's true. The smoke was let out. That was it.
But Maury, did you end up seeing the new Country Bears?
I didn't. I was actually at Disney in Orlando for a Sensi conference.
Which is explain to people who don't know what that is.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Sensi is, basically, if you are like me and you like the house, your life to smell good, Sensi is probably the company that you want to get some stuff from. Okay. They're known for wax warmers, so you don't have to light a candle. Because a lot of places that you rent from nowadays actually are not letting you burn candles.
Right.
So, I remember back in the day, I had Bath and Body Works or Yankee Candle always burning in my house.
Yes.
Now you get a wax warmer and you don't have a wick and you're not lighting a candle.
Interesting.
But Sensi is this great company. They've been around for 20 years. But
I've seen them in the parks.
Yes.
Because they sponsor a bunch of stuff.
They sponsor, and I've been mispronouncing it, the Smellephants over at Dumbo. They sponsor that attraction.
Okay.
Which is really awesome. My mom went over to see it. I was tired the day after the conference, so I was napping in the room. Mom was not tired, so she went to go see the Smellephants.
You're not allowed to nap at Disney. There's no napping.
Don't say that.
I was staying in a timeshare during the conference, and when we got to the rooms were much comfier. So I was napping. I had my lunch. I took a nap while streaming Disney Plus. I stayed during the conference. We stayed off property at one of the Westgate timeshares.
Okay.
Because we were actually if anybody knows Orlando, we were at the Orange County Convention Center.
Yep.
So we were off International Drive.
Yep. Many times.
Which, side note, accidentally drove by Epic Universe and all that stuff, and I fangirled for a moment. And my mom thought I was going to go off the road. I'm like, but anyway.
Looks really cool.
Oh, wait, hold on. We got to get to the conference. But Sensi has, sponsored this attraction. They also do a lot of cool licenses with Disney. Like for the 50th, you get the Cinderella Castle and everything like that. So
there are things that have the candle scent in them and they're shaped like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have all kinds of things. Actually, within arm's reach of me.
Coincidentally, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a Sensi buddy. It's a stuffed animal. It's a Soka.
What?
Yeah, but when she smells,
you actually can put it's called a scent pack in the back of them.
You were gonna say it was in her butt, but that was like
no. We have a zipper down the back. It's her spinal cord.
Spinal cord. It's weird.
So you can have them smell. So they have all kinds of things.
What does it smell like? What is Ahsoka?
The Star Wars smell. They have a light and a dark side, and the light side it is very light. It's very clean. It's very
So is it like fresh linen or
fresh with a little floral?
Okay.
The dark side's a little woodsier.
This is like a whole new universe.
Does Ahsoka
custom to.
smell enough that like I just put her on the couch and now my room smells like it, or is it like more like, oh, I'm gonna snuggle my stuffy
When
and
I
sniff?
snuggle,
Okay.
I smell, and you can change the scent.
Hmm.
So if it comes with a scent you don't like and you prefer a different one, they actually just released. They just started licensing with NBC Universal, so they started doing a Minions Scentsy Buddy.
Okay.
Bananas.
Can't
So
imagine.
it smells like bananas.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah. But so I was there all week for that. Which, by the way, there's a lot of really cute Disney stuff coming down the pipeline that they announced to us, which I'm
Sorry, I'm
super
now
excited
left
about.
wondering what Gru smells like.
They didn't have a Gru.
Have you seen the
Yeah, it was all about
I don't
the
want to
Minions.
know.
Despicable Me?
Be like
latest one?
asparagus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like root beer and an Old Spice, maybe.
Maybe.
Something like
Maybe,
that.
ew.
But
Ew, yeah.
I feel like they should have the unicorn from Agnes, like cute
Yeah.
and fluffy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cotton candy or
I could
something.
see that too. Okay.
But yeah, the banana one actually, I'm not like I want my whole house to smell like bananas, but the banana one was actually not bad.
Really?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
And they have Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They just announced Lord of the
Like
Rings.
what? Cobwebs and like
It-
moldy
No,
water?
it'd be like-
No, it smells like parchment. Like literally, like I kind of get like a library scent.
Really?
But not like the moldy books from like the old public library that you walked into
know.
as a kid.
Sorry, my mind goes like to the worst.
Yeah.
Musty
horrible.
smell.
Which I think would be cool if somebody
Yeah.
actually did that. Kind of like they have the jelly beans that you eat that have the taste like you eat boogers or earwax or whatever.
I had grass one of those once, and that was not tasty.
Grass.
Do they have a pirate water smell? That's the smell I like.
No, they don't. Which I feel like they should. The one that's out right now, which interestingly enough, they announced this during the conference. We're gonna start seeing on Disney Plus a Scentsy commercial with the Lilo and Stitch collection.
Oh, neat.
Which the Lilo and Stitch scent is probably one of my favorites because it's not overly floral. It's got kind of an ocean smell, obviously, because Hawaii. With a little like floral, because again, Hawaii. So we're gonna start actually seeing some Scentsy commercials on our Disney Plus.
Oh, neat.
But again, see, like I immediately went to Stitch thinking of the Stitch's encounter, and I'm figuring it's gonna smell like chili dogs.
Chili dog, no.
And yeah,
I don't want my house to smell like chili dogs.
No,
somebody probably does.
There's someone out there.
Someone out there. I have a friend of mine that says that they want their house to smell like they would like a bakery. And I was like, that would make me hungry all the time. I'd want donuts and a cake, and I don't need that craving in my life.
True.
No.
Like, it smelled like baking dough or ice cream cones, like from the end of Main Street.
Yeah, I was saying I don't want to feel like I'm walking down Main Street every single day, because then the joy of walking down Main Street and wanting to get ice cream is just gone for me.
Special.
Not this smell.
So you were at this conference and you apparently talked to a chef. Is that what you said?
No. So
what happened?
So we were there all week. In the summer at Disney Springs, which I feel like for the last couple of years they've been doing this. They've been doing the Flavors of Florida.
Right.
Which I think right now is going till August 11th. Every Friday, a different celebrity chef at the little stage over by the boathouse where the amphibicars are.
Yeah.
They do a demonstration. They do a talk. Like Wolfgang Puck has already been out. Chef Morimoto.
Nice.
Last Friday, and I don't even want to try to attempt to say her name, but the new chef from Eat, the Indian restaurant, Disney Springs, was doing a demonstration last Friday. And she called it a rock shrimp sloppy joe. I would say it was more of a po' boy, and that she used like fresh local ingredients. That's her general manager, I think another one of her chefs, and Mark Daniel, who was hosting. Hey, 30+ year career, he's got to be everywhere, but of course he did an amazing job hosting. And I tell you what,
He's a good guy.
We got to try the food, and this sandwich, I think I sent you a picture.
Yep.
Delicious.
It's a lot of corn.
So good. That's not corn. It's actually like dried chickpeas because you got a little crunch.
So like crunchy?
Yeah. And then, like I said, I call it more of a poor boy because of the bread. And then you got the shrimp. She did a slaw, like a mango slaw.
Oh, wow.
And then you've got those Indian flavors that, if you've ever been to an Indian restaurant or Sanaa, you know. And of course, we didn't get to eat a whole sandwich. We got to eat I had like a 2 bites worth, but delicious. And it's on her menu during the Flavors of Florida. All of Disney Springs is celebrating Flavors of Florida, where probably every place has something celebrating it. I know Emirates has like a little cake. Wine Bar George had like little corksicles that they were doing last weekend about those stemless wine ones with frozen drinks for like $13, which is a steal, and you got to keep the corksicle.
Oh, okay.
You had me at keep the corksicle. And then you also saw that guy right there. That's Douglas, which usually goes around during Christmas.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he talks.
Oh,
you remember the talking trash can?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll bring that back up.
Think instead of a talking trash can, a talking Christmas tree. But hey, he got some oranges for the summer for Flavors of Florida.
So it's Douglas Fir.
Yeah. And his name is Douglas, and he interacts and talks.
Get it.
He was very interested with my mom because she was on an ECV. He was like, "Who is this lady on wheels?" But I think on Wednesdays, if you go to Disney Springs Instagram, you can sign up for the talk. Whoever's going to be there that Friday, it's like this different celebrity chef. If you're a foodie and you're going to be there, like, I feel like this is something that is a must do. Because one, you get to meet one of the amazing celebrity chefs that we have the luxury of dining at the restaurants whenever we go to Disney Springs.
Yeah.
You get to try some food. We got a little goodie bag, which of course had some oranges in it, which was great for me because I started feeling sick when I came home and I was downing oranges like nobody's business. Gotta get that vitamin C in. But it was a fun experience, and it's free if you get in. It's free. It doesn't cost anything.
What is it, like half an hour?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and it starts at like 9:30. So it's not during peak heat time, which is, I feel like, key right now, being July. And you can still go to the parks. It doesn't ruin your day. Like if you're planning on going to whatever park that day.
So about how many people do they let in?
I would say there was enough seats for maybe 20, 30 people.
Oh.
So, I mean, it was a decent amount. And of course, if you're there, I don't see why you couldn't just stand around and still hear. Obviously, you can't go sample the food.
Right. Well, yeah.
But I'm assuming it's just like how it was last Friday. Whatever that chef is demonstrating, it's on the menu at the restaurant during the Flavors of Florida.
That's a good way to get people to test their food and get interested in their restaurant.
And I want to say this is like the second or third year. So I mean, it's a great thing for the summer. Because
it's interesting they do it for such an intimate crowd, like of like 30 people.
Yeah. Well, unless you did it at that big stage across from World of Disney.
Right.
You can't really.
They can't give that many people free samples.
Well, that's true. But I mean, just to be able to see, like, if they were cooking or whatever, it's interesting that it's that intimate experience, which is cool too. At the same time, if you get to do it.
I started thinking of back during Food and Wine when we used to have the chef demonstrations, like in the little, was it Life Pavilion that used to? Yeah. I mean, those were everyone that I ever did there. That was still a small amount of people. It wasn't 50 people. It was still, again, that 20, 30 number. And it, like I said, it's a really cool interaction. I wish they would bring those back to Food and Wine, but that's a whole other topic,
Yeah, another topic for another day.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of festivals, all right.
There is none at Epcot right now.
No, but I mean, the Eat to the Beat concert series is back, right?
Yes.
We've got that going on. It's going to be running. Let's see, what do we got? Beginning, I guess July 9th. You can effective now, you can secure your spot for an Eat to the Beat dining package, which is going to happen during the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, which for some people is their favorite time of the year. Of course, I'm a big farts fan myself. The Festival of the Arts.
I didn't know which festival you're talking about. Then.
Yeah, that's my favorite. But a lot of people love the International Food and Wine Festival, which is going to run daily from it's not too far in the future here, August 29th through November 23rd.
I thought it was November 18th, or maybe that's just the band schedule.
That actually you are correct. That good catch there. Yep. That
Who will to the rescue?
So Carolyn, do you by any chance have any of the bands there that are coming, or
I can
surprising you with that? Can you consult the Book of INTERCOT Knowledge on that one? I think that we have the. It looked like the lineup, like some of the bands that I had seen there in years past have kind of rotated off. Like there's no like Dennis DeYoung, there's no Alan Parsons there anymore. The Hooters are not coming.
Okay, well, we
but
can
there
go through
are
this
some
quickly if you want.
There are some good that have been there that are staples that have stayed though.
Like Sugar Ray.
Now,
probably
maybe
there. Yeah,
we just have aged ourselves out, and
that is not possible, Carolyn.
I wasn't gonna say that, Carolyn, but since you said it, I was kind of thinking
I'm
maybe
not down with the cool kids anymore. I've learned. August 29th. Tell me if you've heard of the Finesse Party Band. The Finesse Party Band.
No, I feel like that is that the first one.
Yeah,
I feel like they're local.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I noticed like in years past, as they ramped up to the concert series, usually they would bring in somebody that was
local
from around that area. Yeah. And that
I know previous years at some of the festivals, like during the week, they'll have locals. And then like that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when they bring, they bring the big guns out. They bring the celebs, the good bands.
Somebody's going to be like,
the locals aren't good.
Party band is, no. Orlando Wedding Band, the Finesse Party Band, Florida Weddings. Like literally that's what comes up. Perfect. So they're pretty much a, we play anything kind of band.
Okay. And then we have August 30th and 31st is the Fray.
Okay. I know.
I have to say, I know who they are.
Yeah. Okay.
I have one of their songs. It's How to Save a Life.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know them. How to
Flashing back to my
life. Yeah. Okay. Then in September.
Do you remember?
A good one, Sugar Ray, September 1st and 2nd, which is good.
He's always good.
And I'm going to see them this weekend, but actually.
Are you?
Good.
They'll be at Carolyn's.
We keep hoping to have Sugar Ray on the other podcast that I do with at ronrossradioshow.com.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we're actually doing, I think it is in a few weeks, Lisa Loeb's going to be on.
Oh, fun.
Yes, which should be fun, but we've talked about Sugar Ray. So I think he'd be a fun guy to talk to. He's definitely a great entertainer. I've seen him probably almost more than, I've seen Starship, which I don't think they're there. Is Mickey Thomas anywhere on the list? Okay, all right, hold your horses.
I feel like Mickey Thomas might have converted to the Flower and Garden lineup.
That's true.
We're going to the aging out kind of.
You might be right. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, I'm going to fly through September.
Stop interrupting while John's interrupting.
Okay, so Sugar Ray starts off September. Then the Finesse Party Band comes back from September 3rd to the 5th. September 6th and 7th is Hoobastank. If you know them, they're a rock band.
Remember. I can't remember the song though.
Yellow Card is September 8th and 9th.
Yes, know them.
My kids know them. The
and
Hooligans,
that's new for this year.
Yes, they are new for this year. The Hooligans, September 10th to the 12th. Tiffany, if you know the 80s.
Yes, I've seen Tiffany.
Now. September 13th and 14th. There's a band called Mercy Me, September 15th and 16th.
Which I think is Christian rock.
Christian rock.
One, I remember right.
Good though.
Seems like this would be a cover band. Foreigner's Journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta be a cover band.
Cover both, but that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, let's be honest. Foreigner is in effect a cover band right now.
Well, yeah. That's September 17th to the 19th.
And so is Journey, quite frankly.
Right. I mean, the 20th and 21st is Sheila E., which is
I love Sheila E. Actually, I saw her. And she's one of those ones that you're gonna be shocked by how many songs you know that she sang.
Yeah.
Like if you go
or just performed on.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Yeah.
September 22nd and 23rd is a new one this year called The Wanted.
Nope.
Again, they're again that Hoobastank era, the Fray, like that 90s, 2000s.
Wanted? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's when I was getting out of radio right around.
September 24th, 25th, 26th is Dion Diaz.
It's gotta be the local.
September 27th is Luis Figueroa. September 28th and 29th is Mau E. Ricky, which is a new one. And September 30th is Jesse and Joy, which is a new one. Now that's September. Then we move into October. And yeah, there's a few here that I recognize. Latin Ambition, October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. A new one for October 4th and 5th is Aloe Black.
Aloe Black. Yeah.
You know him?
I'm a man.
Yes.
That guy.
Yeah.
I know that song. Yeah, by the way, Jesse and Joy are a Mexican pop duo.
Yeah.
I think all the end of September it was a lot of Latin.
Yeah. Is that like Latin heritage kind of?
Maybe.
Maybe that they're tying it in with that. I don't know.
Could be.
Burn it out.
Maybe.
Could be.
October 6th and 7th, if you like NSYNC, it's Joey Fatone and Friends.
I like Joey.
Which he's done it for a couple years, and he's friends with everybody. Obviously, his NSYNC connections. You never know who's gonna come on stage because I've seen like social media videos. Because I've never make it down when he performs, but I think he's had Backstreet Boys. He's had other artists from the 2000s. Yeah, I mean, I actually watched Boyz II Men at Epcot one year, and Joey Fatone came out, so it was kind of like a flip up for me. So yeah.
October 8th, 9th, and 10th is something called Funkified, which sounds kind of fun.
I don't know, but it sounds like fun. Yeah.
October 11th and 12th, We the Kings. October 13th and 14th is Switchfoot.
Okay. Move.
October 15th to the 17th is Gilly and the Girl Band.
Nope.
October 18th and 19th, David Archuleta. He's new, and I have heard of him.
He was from American Idol. Yeah.
Yep.
You will like this one, John. I'm guessing. October 20th and 21st is Billy Ocean.
Oh yeah, nice.
That'd be cool.
I would like to see him.
Yeah. October 22nd to the 24th is Hayfire.
Nope.
The 25th through the 28th, they got 4 days, is Hanson.
Always a big draw.
Yep.
Yeah, which is interesting.
And they always play around Halloween.
Who would have thought?
Oh yeah, they must be
all these years later.
Evolution Motown is playing October 29th, 30th, and 31st. And then the final month of November.
In November.
November is good.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah. So November 1st and 2nd, Haley Reinhart featuring Emily Estefan, Casey Abrams, and Janelle Parrish. That's a new one ad for this year. Boys to Men, which was great last year. I saw them last year.
BBD.
I fangirl if I get to see Boys to Men.
November 3rd and 4th is them. Sugar Vibe is playing November 5th through the 7th.
Nope.
Something called Magic with an exclamation point. Magic.
They
were new this year, November 8th and 9th.
Featuring Doug Henning.
No.
No.
David Copperfield. Magic.
Yeah.
There's a new one in November 10th and 11th. They're called Parmalee.
I've heard of them.
Have you heard
Yeah,
of them?
they were big in early 2000s. So
Yes, that I've heard of.
Okay. November 12th, 13th, and 14th is the M80s. November 15th
Like
and
the band
16th.
name. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
November 15th and 16th is Smash Mouth, which
That
the
singer
lead singer
died.
passed. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
there's a picture of a guy, but I don't know who.
Like, I'd be curious because he had a very distinctive voice.
Yeah. So
I
it's
saw
a band
Smash Mouth perform in Epcot a couple years ago, and
Okay.
they did a great job. So I'm interested to see how they do without the lead singer.
with a new guy. And then to round it out, November 17th and 18th for all you boy band lovers, that's 98 degrees.
I swear.
I swear. Yeah.
That's all for one, actually.
Oh, is
Is
it?
that-
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Oh,
What's
no.
98 degrees?
98 degrees is
Darn it. I feel like I've made the same mistake.
those are the Lachey brothers. So think I want to say because of you.
Oh no, now we
they were not my number one boy band.
On Spotify.
Yeah, I'm looking.
They're one of those, like, you'll hear a song and be like, oh yeah, I've heard that song before.
My Everything.
Yes,
that's their big one, and Because of You.
Oh, I Do Cherish You.
Yeah,
I Do Cherish You. Yeah.
The lead, like one of the Nick Lachey was married to Jessica Simpson back in the day.
Right.
That guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
There you go.
So, do you remember when we used to do these and we would be able to sing?
Yeah.
Something from every single person that
That's
was
what
on
I'm
the
saying.
list?
I think we've aged out.
Oh, gosh.
I have to say, I think personally, November is the best month booking wise.
Sounds that way.
I wish I could just, stay in Orlando for November and go see all those bands.
Well, Ian can do that.
Yeah, lucky duck.
Which is, really. And Justin,
take some social
both
media
on the
videos
podcast.
for us.
Yeah, both of them. So I guess, did Starship get offloaded to the Flower and Garden, the Flower Power concerts?
Maybe. I guess we're gonna have to wait for the 2025.
Mickey Thomas. I like, no joke, between Sugar Ray and Mickey Thomas, I had seen those two more than any other two bands that I, when I was down there. They just seemed like they were playing every time I was there, and I was there a lot in Octobers, it seems. So
October must have just been their month, and the stars aligned when you went.
Yeah. I was like, if I see Sugar Ray one more time. No, it was great. They were always good.
I used to book around Boys to Men, my trips. I have lost my voice fangirl screaming at Boys to Men at Epcot. So, but I tell you what, I will do the dining package any day.
Yeah.
To see any band that I really want to see. Dining package, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, available Friday through Mondays. Yeah. When the big bands are in.
Well, I don't think a lot of people are waiting in line for the local bands. I'm sure they're fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, good entertainment. Always enjoy going over there.
And the concerts are about half an hour long. You're not
they're
stuck
quick
for hours and hours wasting your evening at Epcot. It's just nice and quick. They play the hits.
Honestly, that was
three shows a day.
Yeah, that was like what I liked about when the Hooters, Philadelphia's Hooters, played there. And this is probably what got them kicked out, is that every single show was different. Like, they didn't play the same songs each time. They did catalog. And I mean, I think they played, like, they'd play a hit or two. And then the rest of the songs that made up that set were all other stuff.
Different stuff.
Yeah, which was great for like me. I knew all the songs, but I think everybody play your hits again.
I know other bands that have done that too. Like, I've watched Boys to Men more than once during the same night, and they might play one hit during the 6 o'clock set, and they're going to play some different songs. Now, granted, I mean, I don't know the Hooters as well as you do, but Boyz II Men has a pretty strong repertoire of hits, so they can do that.
Hooters had like 3 or 4 hits that were top 40 hits in the day. So, I mean, you know, between And We Danced, All You Zombies, Day by Day, Satellite, there are a few more, but those were the big ones. So, you know, there were things that people would know.
Yeah.
Especially Day by Day and the others from the original album. But anyway, yeah. So I think, you know, it's always interesting to see that. And it's a cool cool way to wrap up your Epcot day, certainly. And for local, you know, to come in, you know, after a certain time, grab a brewski or whatever, walk to the back of the park and sit down and watch a show.
Yeah.
Hard to beat.
Oh yeah, when I lived locally and even when I lived in Tampa, if there was a band playing during Food and Wine or Flower and Garden, that's what I was doing after work. Clock out, you know, change my clothes, hit the road and listen to a good band.
Excellent. Well, we've got let's go across the other side of town a little bit. Universal right now offering some pretty sweet deals.
Oh, God,
yes. Yeah, especially for Florida residents right now. I mean, I'm wishing they offered it for nearby state residents. Right now, they have like a 2-park unlimited days park to park offer going on right now for $199.99 plus tax for adults and children's tickets starting at $194.99.
By the way.
What's that?
That sounded very Dracula, you know, of you, by the way.
I know, right? I mean, they only took $5 off. I mean, are you kidding? Why not just the adults and children, $199.99? I mean, it's $5. Who cares? Anyway, the offer gives you unlimited entrance to both Universal Studios Florida and Universal Islands of Adventure until December. So pretty much from now through the end of the year, $199. You can park hop, head in, and enjoy the parks. I mean, what a deal.
Well, if you think about it, right now, well, first of all, Universal always is running some kind of deal, I feel like. Disney doesn't have to. In some ways, everybody wants to go to Disney, I feel like, more than Universal.
Yeah.
Let's face it, there's more to do. But I feel like right now, a lot of people are holding off on their Universal trip because Epic Universe is coming. You know, the families that only plan that like once a year, once every couple of years, they're all in I'm gonna hold off to Epic Universe opens, and that's when I'm spending my money for my vacation, when I've got Epic Universe to choose from as well.
No, it's true. Although I did see Disney was offering a 3-park kind of pass for locals, not inclusive of the Magic Kingdom, but that you could buy with a special deal right now. And given the fact that at least anecdotally, some people have said crowds are down a little bit. I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah. Now, I mean, Disney, I have noticed, usually does some kind of they call it the Disney Discovery Pass, which is what you're talking about.
Yep.
In the summertime. Because I know a lot of locals that when their annual pass, they chose that option that did not include the summer months because they were locals. They don't want to deal with the tourist of the summer. They know how crazy hot it is, so they are not they're not outside if they don't have to be. They're soaking up their AC while the tourists are sweating and, you know, dripping and gross and just want to go to the pool instead of ride a ride.
It's true. But so at Universal, also Halloween Horror Nights and things like that are coming up.
Yes, and they just announced some Halloween houses last week.
Yeah, they did, and they've also got a premium Scream Night or something like that that's going on, where apparently you're going to be among the first to face the slate of haunted houses. It looks like they're going to have 10 movie houses inspired by cinematic greats coming, and 5 scare zones and other crazy stuff, live entertainment, all that going on. Apparently, you know, this ticket, which is pretty expensive, get you in a more intimate experience prior to them opening it, I guess. Staggered entry by group into haunted houses. So, you don't feel so rushed, because sometimes if you've been through there, it's like you feel like you're
crammed,
bolting through there. And then you get some all you care to enjoy food items, non-alcoholic beverages, a souvenir, and access to also some select attractions and free parking. And it's, I think, at least free parking on August 29th, it says. I'm not sure whether that is the exact date. It probably is. You can get tickets for $350
plus tax.
Annual pass holders and seasonal pass holders get them for $325, so they get $25.
Big discount there.
Yeah, I know. So it's almost as good as the $5. But I mean, the reality is, when you go to Halloween Horror Nights, if you've done it and you pay for that ticket, and then if you pay, because sometimes if you go and you don't get the pay up pass, whatever they call it, the I can't remember the name of it. What is it called?
The Express Pass.
It's like, Express Pass, basically, for that night.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be probably approaching $300 anyway.
Yeah. And if you don't do the Express Pass, I don't think you can feasibly hit every single house in one night without the Express Pass.
No, not maybe early on in the season, maybe you might be able to, but especially later on. I mean, somewhere I think in our TikTok collection on INTERCOT, I have pictures of me going in via Express Pass and then just sort of filming the lines as I'm walking by and say, what do you think? Is this worth it, kids? It definitely was worth it, but it's a lot of money to spend for one night.
Yeah. But I mean, Halloween Horror Nights has a cult following.
Yeah. What's that?
Halloween Horror Nights has a cult following. So, I mean, there's people that they plan their whole vacation around going to Halloween Horror Nights.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like haunted houses, like, they're next level. I really enjoyed going. I
feel like they're on a whole other level.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'd like to do it once. I think I would enjoy it once.
Carolyn, I'd like to be there when you do it and film it.
Oh, good.
I am not a
Carolyn gets scared of fish.
I get scared.
Okay, I'm not that much of a scaredy cat, but I am a little scaredy cat. My local theme park actually had a sweatshirt for our Halloween thing last year that said scaredy cat on it, and I 100% bought it and wore it with pride.
Did you get one if you wore that?
No, well, they actually had like little necklaces that glowed that like the actors knew, like,
be gentle.
Be gentle.
Yes.
And again, I wore that with pride as well. I am a scaredy cat, 100%. But my boyfriend loves horror movies. Yeah. So ever since we've been dating, I've told him about Halloween Horror Nights, and we've got to go.
You got to go. You got to go.
But you know what? Like, if you've done the Express Pass, and if you've done Halloween Horror Nights, one thing a lot of people don't know about is the VIP tour or the RIP tour.
Yeah, RIP.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any Halloween Horror Night fan must do an RIP tour at least once in their life.
Yeah, I have not done that. So
I did the training on it because I've again learned all about doing like the travel bookings for Universal. It's behind the scenes. So think of like any behind the scenes tour that we've done at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
It's a behind the scenes tour plus Express Pass.
Oh, well, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did it ruin it for? I mean, does it ruin it for you if you do that then? Or do you do the house after you've been through it? Or how?
I think you do.
I have to wonder.
I'm trying to remember if you do it like during the day before like it's the house is started.
Cool. Yeah, if you did that and then kind of they showed you how they did some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And although you'd know sort of.
But also if you think about it, how many times have you done if you've done the behind the scenes tour at Disney and you've been in the utilidors, does that ruin your Disney experience for you?
No, but I mean, the part of the experience of going in a haunted house is not knowing what's coming around the next corner. So I don't know if.
But I also feel like if there's enough places to scare somebody in a haunted house that just because you saw the behind the scenes of here's where people are going to jump out and get you,
it's true.
You either might not remember it, or they're coming from a whole other place now. So they're going to still, the element of surprise and scare is still there, I feel like.
It's very true. Carolyn, do we have anything else in the archives there, or
for anybody that is on the nerd circuit and likes the San Diego Comic-Con, they just did a couple days ago they did a Percy Jackson panel there that a friend of mine and my husband he plays as Ares, the god of war in that show. So he was there. We got to see a whole bunch of little behind the scenes type stuff with him, and that was a big huge panel. But the big news coming out of Comic-Con is that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be back, coming back to Marvel as Dr. Doom. So just to this is going to go over your head if you're not into Marvel, and I will be quick. But Kang the Conqueror was a baddie that they were starting to introduce in Ant-Man and Loki and stuff like that. He was this bad guy, but the actor who plays him, his name is Jonathan Majors, kind of got into a little bit of legal trouble. So Disney has backed away from him. They are canceling the Kang Dynasty movie that was going to come out with him. It was going to be like a Avengers Kang Dynasty where they battle him. That's done. We're not going to talk about Kang anymore.
No more.
So they you guys may have heard that like Fantastic Four is coming, and with Pedro Pascal and a whole bunch of other famous people in it. Dr. Doom is known as like the bad guy from the Fantastic Four, and yeah, so it's going to be Tony Stark coming back. Now, a lot of people I've been reading are all confused, like, well, how can you have the same guy come back and be Dr. Doom?
That would be me.
Okay, so
I don't understand.
There is an actual like comic book storyline from Marvel where in Earth 11029, so again, multiverse, whatever.
Oh, crap.
Vincent Von Doom
and
Tony Stark, or in this world he calls himself Anthony Stark, but they did know each other, and I won't spoil anything, but basically Mr. Von Doom puts his consciousness into Tony and turns Tony bad, and now Tony has become Dr. Doom. He's a very smart, but he's supposed to be one of the worst villains. And there's going to be a movie now in 2026 called Avengers Doomsday. So if you can sort of picture it, imagine the horror on like little Peter Parker's face when they take the mask off and it's Tony Stark that they're fighting against, and they have to come to grips with fighting somebody that they thought was dead and used to be their friend, and now he's a bad guy. And yeah, but basically, all in all, just like if you've just seen Deadpool and Wolverine, welcome to the world of comic books. Nobody is ever fully gone and dead. You can bring them back.
Really? Except for Green Lantern, didn't...
Yeah, that was just
that's a whole other
reason. Timeline altogether.
Yeah. But anyways, there's always some way of bringing back. I mean, didn't Superman die at one point? And
yeah, I have the comic.
Yeah, so you can bring anybody back. And anyway, so
unopened, by the way, is that worth anything? Never opened that.
I had the book set, and I think I've looked it up, and there's so many printings.
Was there?
Yeah.
The black, the one with the dripping blood on the.
I mean, if it's a special edition, you might be. But
I don't know. I just never opened it, so I bought it.
You could be sitting on a fortune.
A bunch of old Disney comics too, which.
Oh, I have tons of those.
Well, but these are like in pristine condition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like little.
The bags
and baggies and
nice.
It might be worth getting them graded and seeing if they're.
Maybe I should.
You just take it into a comic book store; they'll tell
you.
Can
I? Okay.
Yeah.
Usually, what they do, I have a again, my boyfriend is a comic nerd. That's how I understood everything Carolyn just said.
Oh, good.
Right.
I completely understood because I already got the teaching yesterday when I showed my boyfriend the TikTok video of like Robert Downey Jr.'s coming back, yay! Yeah, you can go if you've got comics and everybody's got a local comic book store, and if you get in a good rapport, you take those comics. They do send them off. They get graded just like a baseball card. And depending on
I bought all these things like it was in between my radio gigs where I was forced to work radio sales, and one of my clients was a comic book store.
Oh.
And so I would go in there and try to sell them radio advertising and also buy comic books at the same time. And so I have these from literally 28, 29 years ago, at least.
You never know. They could be worth something.
Yeah. So, and they were old at that point. So who knows?
There's got to be, I would be surprised if there's not at least one good comic book shop near where you are.
Don't know. Don't know. It doesn't seem like, I mean, probably in Savannah, maybe. But
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hilton Head itself.
Right in the mainland,
Or mainland, you're thinking Bluffton, maybe they have
Bluffton,
it?
you never know.
You never know.
Just Google it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, like I have such a good rapport with my comic book guy that he holds Disney stuff. As soon as they come into the store, he knows I got a Morgan pile going here. So
we still have a whole bunch of like the old Donald Duck magazines. My dad used to read us comic books instead of reading like a book to bed. He would do like the voices of Goofy and anyway. So I still have all those, but they're like very tattered. And then somebody in town recently was selling like a whole bunch of like pristine Disney ones. So I went and I bought a whole bunch just so I could have them. Yeah. So I got a little collection going.
Maybe something to report back on it in a future episode.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to call it a wrap. It is episode 170. A big thanks to Morgan from dreamfindingparks.com for hanging with Carolyn and I tonight here on the INTERCOT Insider live podcast, longest name in the history of Disney podcasting.
You could make it longer, I'm sure.
Yeah, we could. We could add a few things in there. Want to say thanks to our sponsor, of course, Magical Journeys. Be sure and visit them. Visit their website, visit their social media pages, connect with them however you do that sort of thing at this point. But do connect because they will save you for your next Walt Disney World vacation. Nancy and crew are fantastic. And again, have been in business most of our 20-ish, 7, 9, how many years are we? 27 years online
Something
now?
like that.
Something like that.
We're
and
so
with
old
the new
we
website,
can't remember.
We
That's
may
right.
make it to 30.
That's right.
You never
know. Check it
know.
out, guys. Go check it out.
The OG of Disney fan sites.
This is
That's
true.
us. Yeah, we need t-shirts. We'll work on that. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for downloading. Tell a friend or 1,000, would you? We'd appreciate it. This is John. Have a great month. We'll talk to you probably at the end of August. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.